Hello and welcome back to my podcast. I'm going to be very honest with you. Up until now, so the last 4 episodes, we didn't have a name. I was still brainstorming, I was still exploring different avenues, but now we've landed on The Winding Way. So, welcome back to The Winding Way. I'm so happy you're here. I am your host, Camille, and I run Lila and Co, a business that provides images, video, and brand design for wellness and creative business owners and brands. In this podcast, we explore unusual lessons, business lessons from a business owner, myself, and my future guests who has not had the most linear path in order to get to where I am now. So I hope it resonates. Today, I want to talk about something that is really important to me, and that is yoga. I used to teach yoga, I don't anymore, but I still consider myself a practitioner. And today I wanted to talk to you about Kriya Yoga in particular. And before the yoga police comes to me, I am not an expert and I am not establishing myself as one. I am not an authority on yoga or Kriya Yoga, but I love to share concepts that have helped me in my personal and professional life. A little bit of context first. There are multiple pathways that I want my life to go, and all of them have similar themes. And in order to get to where I want to get to, I need a lot of intentional work. I am expanding my business, I am scaling, and sometimes it's very uncomfortable. But every step forward creates a new pattern and serves the version of myself that exists in this potential future. 2026 is the year of big goals for me, maybe for you too, which means I am pushing myself a little bit harder than before. So, Kriya Yoga, what is it? It is the yoga of action. Change is inevitable on this plane of reality. We age, we become wiser, we grow. Nature cycles through seasons and transforms itself and regenerates. Through Kriya Yoga, the yoga of action, we can decide how exactly we want that change to happen. Kriya Yoga has 3 different components to be applied at the same time. It's not a step-by-step system. It's something that you need to practice at the same time. We have tapas, svadhyaya, and ishvara pranidhana. Again, yoga police. I know my Sanskrit pronunciation is not the best. We try. So tapas can be translated as discipline, self-discipline, or heat. And when they say heat, they mean the friction of a new pattern rubbing against an old one. Heat is created by the resistance of discomfort. In the more traditional sense of the word, when they say tapas, they mean a daily, regular practice of pranayama, which can be translated as breath work. But I am applying it in the modern world for my own life. And tapas, or discipline, means that I am pushing myself intentionally, even though sometimes I don't want to. As we covered before, I go to the gym. That shit sucks. But I do it anyway because it serves the version of myself in the future that is strong as hell. I am serving my future self by doing stuff that I don't necessarily want to do, but are going to move my business forward. I work from 9 to 5 or 9 to 4 most days. I do really annoying tasks because that's what running a business is. Creating content, doing admin, tax returns, whatever. And we're doing it even if we have ADHD, which, yes, makes everything more difficult, but that's why I have systems in place. That's why I have a really intense routine, because without my routine, I die. Self-discipline is an essential component for the success of one's life and one's business, in my humble, controversial opinion. But I think our generation, I'm a millennial, has become a little bit too comfortable with coddling oneself. And we are really big on self-care. And self-care is great. If we are cozying up too much, we're not going to get anywhere. On to our second component of Kriya Yoga, which is svadhyaya or svadhyaya. which can be translated as self-study. Traditionally, that meant reading scriptures. So it could mean reading and focusing on the same chapter of a scripture again and again. It could also mean chanting a mantra. And in the modern life, what svadhyaya means to me is self-reflection, introspection. So assessing areas of my business where I need more growth, but also assessing parts of myself that are perhaps hindering my growth as a person and as a business owner. Because, side note, healing your personal shadow will do wonders for your business. So introspection is really important. It also means for me upskilling, so learning if I feel like I am lacking. Another side note, but sometimes imposter syndrome is not you being too talented and not presenting yourself accordingly. Sometimes imposter syndrome means, yes, you are a little bit of an imposter, and that's okay, but you need to upskill to become a better version of yourself in the skill that you want to be good at. I have been a photographer for many, many years. I've been a photographer since, I don't know, I was 15, 16. I do believe that I have an inner talent, but there are a lot of things that I had to learn. In the more recent years, I learned how to do video and I learned how to do brand design. And those two things are still something that I want to improve on, because whilst I think I am good, I want to be better because I want to give the best service possible for the people who work with me. And even in photography, even if I have 20 years of experience, I am still learning because there are always more to learn. But I also learn how to run a business efficiently. I had a business coach for a while and I am coaching photographers myself. I want to learn how to do that in the best way possible. Basically, just don't get too comfortable and keep learning. The last component, I think, is something that only a specific type of people will understand. And that specific type of people, I reckon, listens to my podcast. Ishvara pranidhana can be translated as surrender to the divine, surrender to God, surrender to a higher power, surrender to the universe, whatever you're most comfortable with. I like to use universe, and that traditionally can be practiced through chanting, prayer, mantra, and for me, I think it's the hardest. It's having the inner belief that everything is gonna work out. If you practice tapas and svadhyaya, there is no other choice but for things to work out eventually because the universe has your back. You are supported by the universe. And in the modern world, it can look like many things. I know a lot of people with shrines. It can look like meditating. It can look like anything really. Your spiritual practice is yours. Mine ebbs and flows. And also, I find trusting the universe very hard, but I make myself do it. And sometimes that can look like regulating your nervous system. So, friends, tell me, what's something uncomfortable you have to do to be closer to the life you want? And have you got big goals for which you need to work a little bit harder this year? And how are you going to support yourself through that hard work? Thank you for listening or for watching if you're on YouTube. Feel free to interact with this podcast in any way that you can, leaving a comment, leaving a review. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow me. And now go and practice yoga. Bisous.